After a comprehensive victory in set 1, Magnus Carlsen was setting his eyes to establish his stake in the semi-finals by beating Wesley So in the second set 2. But the question was, will Wesley So come with a vengeance? All eyes were on Wesley So. He had to win this set to push it into an Armageddon and into the subsequent set 3 if he wins the Armageddon 2. But will he reach there, or Magnus will pounce again on Wesley So? So let's go. Wesley is white, Magnus is black. Opens with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, Rai Lopez, knight f6, the Berlin defense. So Magnus Carlsen's favorite opening is on the board. d3, so he's opting against the queen exchange variation of the Lermet variation. Bishop c5, c3, castles, d6, h3 stopping bishop g4, a6 by Magnus. Bishop comes to a4 and then bishop c2. So this is the structure that we normally see in basically all normal openings. The structure can also arise, let's say, at third black move of this bishop c5, and this is also very well known. This has transformed into the normal Morphy defense variation of the Spanish opening from the Berlin defense, but both sides have equal amount of advantages. So back to the game, bishop c2 was played and he tucks the bishop on b6 just to keep this pin, so that this knight, if this knight moves away, then f4 doesn't happen because of the pin. So rook e1 is taking the claim in the center, knight e7, d4 striking in the center, knight g6 protecting the king, bringing more forces on the king's side. That's a good move. Knight b d2 with the intention of playing knight f1 and then knight g3, not g3, knight g3. Rook e8 coming into the center. We see knight f1, bishop e7 taking this long diagonal. So now these two bishops eyeing towards the white king. That's a good move. Knight g3. Now his idea is to play knight f5, which won't be bad enough because the knight wants to have a good home on f5 so that it isn't kicked away by any of the pieces, and if it does, then pawn takes, and this bishop does a very good job keeping an eye on the f5 square. h6, and if Wesley wants a draw, or Wesley doesn't want to continue this game, then he can simply go for this variation, a4, c5, d takes, d takes, and then once queens get off and all the pieces are traded, and then this position looks very drawish. No player would have any chances, and it would be a dull draw. However, after h6, Wesley plays bishop d2, and Carlsen plays c5. And here, if you want to just close everything, you can just play d5, then c4, b4, again closing this queen side so that there is no tension at all. C takes b3 en passant, a takes b3, and you can play b4 yourself. And if black plays b4, you might just not like to take it. You would rather like to play c4, and that would be better for white. Probably drawish, but a little bit better. But okay, after c5, Wesley takes on e5 and plays queen c1. So he's eyeing this h6. Maybe he may go, he may not go. Carlsen plays c4 and he plays knight f5, so that's a good move. So I'm now putting more pressure on this h6 square, and he plays rook e6. So if knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, won't have a specific amount of threats in the position. because then you can play king h7 and everything is fine. In fact, white has invested a piece for the two pawns, but still. But then the problem is knight g5 might happen, and then king has to go back. But still, after rook e6, I don't see this bishop takes h6 doing a lot of things, because this rook is very active on this 6th rank. You might see knight f4 just trapping everything here. Maybe that could be the idea. So that's why I'm not going for bishop takes or knight takes. Bishop e3, bishops were exchanged, and then queen c7, defending this pawn, putting more defenders on this pawn. So this 3 defenders now. Rook a d1, rook a e8. 4 defender comes to join the party. Rook d2, knight f4, king h2, and here Magnus could have simply played a5 and tried to push the queen side pawns. However, he plays rook d8. But then rook takes d8, check, queen takes d8, knight takes e5, Wesley has gained a pawn, and if rook takes, then queen takes knight. But simply white will be a pawn up, but knight takes g2, good move. And here he should have played king takes g2, and the position was still been equal. Probably white would have been better in that case, but still equal. But after knight takes g2, Wesley so plays queen g3, threatening mate in 1. Knight h5 defends the mate and attacks the queen as well. Queen takes g2, rook takes e5, and now if he wants to play good, and he could have gone for, let's say, queen g4, and after queen d2, rook e2, queen f4 check, exchanges the queens, and the position is roughly level. Maybe black might be better, but still more drawish than to make anything out of it. But here Wesley so plays knight takes h6 check, and I was very skeptical that how can he would be able to win this, because although he's gained a pawn, but look, black has gained a very special, or I should say very important tempi in this position. And if you play, let's say, knight here, there is no queen takes here because knight is defending, and suddenly there is queen f6, already a lot of tension in the position, and things can turn really ugly indeed. You might see even queen c7 in the position to pin this rook and threatening any discoveries, and things can turn very ugly very soon. So this is a very special tempi that black gained by giving up that pawn on h6. So knight g4 attacking the rook so that this queen c7 thing doesn't happen. The rook goes back to e6, and now queen f3, queen d2, and here it might look at first glance that rook d1 is a bad move. You're just giving up this bishop, but in fact it's fine, and in fact it's the best move in the position, because after queen takes c2, rook d7 threatens mate in 1 and also the bishop. White recovers its piece back and has somewhat better chances to hold the game. But after queen d2, he plays rook e2, and then queen d6 check from Magnus. Now Magnus is looking really under control. He has everything under control, and it looks like he doesn't want to give even a sniff to Wesley. So king g1, knight f4, the knight comes back into the game attacking the rook, so rook has to go back. So you can see for a pawn so much play Carlsen is generating, and he has a compensation in form of this poor bishop blocked by its own pawn, and if he want to generate something out of it, maybe he would try to give this pawn up to free this bishop and probably get some play, but that would mean that with equal pawns, black pieces here, here and here stand better, and meanwhile this cannot happen because of this pin. Whew. Tough seat to be sitting as white. f5, taking advantage of this. If you take, then this comes with check, and on the next turn you pick the queen. Everything would be destroyed. Knight e3, and then he gains his pawn back. Queen g3, try to create something out of it, but knight d3 is very strong indeed, because it's sitting here, and if bishop takes, then c takes will be very deadly indeed, this passed pawn. So queens were traded. Rook takes, rook d1, rook g6 check, and after king f1 you cannot defend this pawn, so you have to move it. After bishop c8, h4, bishop h3 check, king e2. So Wesley is trying to bring his king into the center. That's a good move, because that's the only option he's left with. Carlsen has totally dominated him. Rook f6, threatening mate in 1. Bishop takes d3, pawn takes d3, e takes d3 with check, king e1, rook f4 attacking this h4 pawn, b3 just trying to break this black's pawn structure, bishop comes to e6, pawn takes, and now bishop takes. So now everything is looking really strong. You might see d2 break also coming if this rook leaves this d2 square. a4, rook picks the pawn, the free pawn, undefendable. Black is looking really on the charge. Pawn up, deadly passed pawn here, defended passed pawn here, and if you take, then simply pawn takes, which is what happened. A takes, king d2, and probably rook f4. Pressurizing this pawn would have been a better move, just would have gained some time. Let's say rook f4, rook f1, and after rook f6, white is running really short of moves here. King d2, king f7 played, still okay, but black would have to do some hard work for it. But Wesley plays an equally bad move here. Rook a1. Probably should have played let's say rook knight f5 here. Try to fork this, try to attack this, and then knight d6 fork, taking this like that. Could have been a better choice. Rook a1 was an equally bad response. Rook f4, rook a7 check, king f6, rook a6 check, king e5 would have been a better move. However, he goes for king g5. Still, this is tricky for black, and it would be very difficult to convert this, because it looks like that white has protected everything except for this f2 pawn, and this pawn looks really dull. In fact, this pawn might drop, and it does drop, because after king e1, d2 check. Important move indeed. King takes d2, rook takes f2 check, just removing that one pawn which was defending this knight. King d1, rook f4, just defending everything now. Rook c6, king h5, just preparing g5. You will see that happening very soon indeed. Rook c8, g5, rook h8 check, king g6, king e1, is trying to get closer to this pawn, g4, and now a very bad move indeed. Well, I won't say Wesley did play badly, but bad moves can come naturally sometimes, because the position is as such. White is in under a lot of pressure, Wesley is also under pressure playing against Magnus. Rook c8 would have been a better move because after bishop e6, rook c6, rook f6, rook c5, one of the pawn will go, and position might dilute to a draw, and it could have been better to hold on for white. However, after g4 plays rook h4, and this loses because after king g5 protecting the g5 pawn twice with the rook and with the king, rook h7, rook f3, pressure on the knight, king d2 defends the knight, probably knight takes c4 would have been a better choice, but white is already running out of moves. After rook f2 check, king d1, g3 was the last move of the game, and Wesley so resigns game 1. So Carlsen in the second set is a game up. So what would happen if knight takes on c4? But then would come b takes, king e1, king f4, rook c7, king e3. No time to take this because of this. And if you play rook e7, then king d3 will swipe off this pawn also. Hopeless position after this g3 move. Wesley resigns, so he's a one game down. The second game was a draw. That was a good fight from Wesley. So we come to game number 3. But Wesley is again white. Knight f3 this time, not e4. d5, d4, knight f6, c4, e6. The Catalan. And this is the opening that Anish Giri plays, and he played against, I think, Ding Liren in the candidates. And this knight a3, well, I don't like this move, knight a3. Why? Because this is very well known that bishop takes, and this ruins the pawn structure. Maybe queen c2 would have been a better move, but nevertheless. Bishop takes, b takes, b5. Now this is a very risky move. He's retaining this pawn, but this opens the line of this bishop. Queen b1, c6, e4, h6, g4, knight h7. That's a good move. And here he could have played bishop e3 just to protect this pawn even more, so that this knight can move here, pressurizing even more on c6 on taking this diagonal. h4, not bad indeed. e5, knight takes, queen takes d4, so he's got his pawn back, or maybe he's a pawn up. Bishop f4, rook e8, threatening rook takes, and this. So queen c1 defends the bishop. Well, if now you take, then you may as well take it, and everything is somewhat sorted for, like, well, if rook takes, then okay, rook d1 can come here, so that's winning a piece probably. However, after queen c1 he plays queen c5, but that's not a bad move either. Rook d1, and now he can play this move, and this is a very tactical move indeed. Knight takes f7. So if king takes, it comes bishop takes b8. No time to take this because of queen f4 will pick the rook. So bishop takes, and now bishop h2, the stucking back, and yeah, the position is playable. After rook d1, he plays knight a6 in this position, and I don't like this move because what this move does is it allows knight takes c6, which is a great tactic. However, after the move queen c3, this knight takes c6 doesn't look very well indeed. But after knight takes c6, Magnus plays queen takes e6. And I don't like this move because after e5, suddenly this bishop is unleashed and it's looking like taking this rook and it's undefendable. So queen c5, bishop takes g4, bishop e3, queen takes e5, rook d4, knight f6, bishop c6, rook e6, attacking the bishop, bishop g2, knight c5, and probably he could have played queen b2 in this position. That would have been better, but queen c3 was the move that I didn't like at all. King h7, queen takes a5, again a misstep, and here he could have played rook d6 in this position, but knight d3 is a terrible blunder. And now Wesley is in a hot seat. The question is, can he cash through? He's got a golden chance here. Rook b1, queen f5, rook takes b, queen g6, queen a8. Maybe king h2 would have been a better move, but who knows. Knight e5, rook d8. So now threatening mate in one, like that. Knight e8, rook takes e8, and this loses immediately. Instead, he should have played king h1, and now this is a very good move. And if let's have a look at this, king h1, and if you give a free move c3, then everything collapses here, and white at the end of it is a piece up. You can see c2 doesn't work because bishop is covering this square. Wow, that could have been another thing. After knight e8, rook takes e8, rook takes e8, queen takes e8, knight f3 check, and now black is looking like he has taken bull by its horns. King h1, and now a remarkable move by Magnus. If you can find this, you can take your time and find this move because it's one of the most incredible moves that you will see. So the move that Magnus played here is queen d3, and that's the only move to win in this position. And if bishop takes f3, well, this loses immediately because queen f1 check, king h2, queen h3 check, king g1, and there is absolutely no defense to mate here. The crisscross mate, as we know, Boden's mate, it is happened by the bishop, but this will serve the kiss of death, checkmate. So he finds one way to stop this. He plays bishop d2, but this loses because after queen takes d2, Wesley So resigns game number 3, and Magnus Carlsen officially goes through to the semi-finals. Wow, he totally dominated Wesley So and didn't give him even a chance to equalize. But I hope you liked my video. I hope you liked my analysis. If you like my work, then you can support me on Patreon and PayPal, and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Till then, stay safe, take care, bye.